Finally, I got myself a more advanced OBD reader which can diagnose several modules. In the past I used only a simple one which could read codes from engine and showed data from engine sensors. Recently, when I was checking used cars, I had a situation when there was a ABS problem in the car and my reader couldn't see what the code was. So I thought I should get a tool that would allow me to test the most common modules that go bad with time, and usually these are engine, ABS, braking system, airbags, and transmission. Especially if you're going to buy a used car with automatic transmission, you need to have that option. This device has been on the market for quite some time, and now the prices started going down. I got this device for a really good price. This is the name of the model, this is the name of the brand. Let's check how it works. We see some documentation, some seals related to quality, probably some instructions. What I usually do is smell the plastic. If it smells, that would be an indicator of bad quality. No smell, that's a good indicator. The box itself looks like it's of a good quality. Doesn't look like a cheap product. And we have cables here. Let me smell them as well. No disturbing smell at all. And this is for me very important. In the past, Chinese products would smell so bad that you wouldn't even be able to keep them in a room. For me, it's the first thing to check when I get a device which is made of plastic. So now we're going to check this in the car. I have a bad battery in the car right now and I can't crank the engine. So I will check one of the features. The simplest features is whether this tool will be able to tell me if the battery is bad or not. And then we'll go through some other features. Now I'm in the car. The instructions say I need to register the device first and download the software updates. I'll just try now to connect this cable to the device and the other end of the cable to the OBD port on my car and see what happens. Just for the sake of curiosity, the instructions say that I need to use my email address to register. I don't like when the manufacturers ask for personal information, but let me try to plug into this device without any registration and see what happens. So now I plugged the cable into the OBD port and you see that this device charges from that port. This is something I was looking for. I didn't want only depend on an internal battery. I wanted to be able to use the device by only plugging it into the car so that this device can use the car's battery in case the internal battery goes bad. I hope it won't affect the functionality of this device. The only confusing thing that I notice is the way you turn it on. For example, now it's unplugged and I will plug it into the car. Plugged it in. It looks like it turns on. And then it shows that it started charging. And then it turns off. The screen turns off. So I try to turn it on. I press it once, the screen turns on again. But looks like it doesn't turn on. I press this button and keep it pushed for a couple of seconds. 1, 2. Still the screen turns on. And I don't understand whether this device is going to turn on or off. Looks like nothing. Let's try 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, now it turns on. So we found out that you have to keep the button pressed for 5 seconds at least. And now yes, it turns on. And to turn it off, press the button and keep it pressed until you see this menu and shut down. Pressing the power button only once will only deactivate the screen. So now I plugged the cable into the OBD port. The device is turning on. And it's showing me the available Wi-Fi networks, inviting me to connect to the Wi-Fi. According to the instructions, I need to connect to the Wi-Fi to start registering and updating the software. Let me try just to start this device without any registration. Let's change the language into English. Let's go back. The touchscreen is pretty good. It reacts well. It looks like I won't be able to start this device without registration. So let me connect this to my Wi-Fi network and see what's next. Okay, now I selected my Wi-Fi hotspot and now I'm connected to the Wi-Fi spot, and you see here this Wi-Fi indicator. Next. Okay, now it's asking to sign up. So I'll have to enter my email address and set up a password. Let's do it now. So I entered my email address and a password that I would need for my account for this device, and I got this message. It says that this device with this serial number is activated. And now after this we get this menu which we can use to diagnose the car. And here we see there is a indicator on the update icon that we have updates. Let's update the software then. Now I pressed updates button and we see that all items started updating. While I'm waiting for the updates to complete, I'm scrolling through this menu and I see that it's downloading the software per car brand. So you see here different cars. You see high-end cars here. There's even update for Ferrari. And then you see system-related updates like control unit reset, crank sensor, EGR, gearbox. So looks good. We'll see how it works in reality. Okay, now I try to connect this tool to my car, but it says connection failed. Then I tried another OBD reader, my simple one, which I am replacing with this more complicated one, and it also cannot connect to the computer of the car. And my battery is so bad that when I'm trying to start the car, it just doesn't do anything. So my guess is that the battery is so bad that the computer of the car doesn't have enough voltage to establish the connection with the reader. So probably I will not be able to do the battery test because the battery is so bad that I cannot even establish the connection. So this is the sound. One of the relays is making the sound in the fuse box. I just checked it. We can still have some lights here, but the electrical doors are not even closing. So I'll have to wait for the new battery, install it, and see what we can do with this device. Now I replaced the car battery. I have no clicking sounds. It turned out to be a probably starter relay that was drawing some remaining electricity. Now the key is not turned into the on position. I'll try to go to the OBD menu. And I'll try auto scan. By the way, now I see the voltage of the battery. When the battery was bad, there was no indication of the voltage. And it says connection failed. And why it failed? Because the key is not in the on position. So now let's try to turn the key into on position. Now we see the lights are on. And now let's try again. And now it quickly connected, and here we are. We have several options here. I notice here that the voltage is now showing lower than 12 volts. This device is drawing current from the battery, so the voltage probably falls a little bit. So currently I don't have any trouble codes. Let's try to see if I have any codes. No codes. Pending codes. Probably no pending codes because the battery was disconnected. I actually disconnected it for a day because the relay kept clicking. It could have erased the codes even if there were any. Let's check if I have freeze frame data. I had recently one error, and with my other basic tool I was able to read freeze data. So no freeze data. So yes, after the battery was disconnected, the data was deleted. Let's check IM readiness mode. Probably not all IM readiness indicators will be complete because we actually reset the car by disconnecting the battery. Usually my car says that malfunctioning indicator light is on when the engine is not on, so this is normal. These indicators here, they're still in progress because the car needs to drive for some kilometers to complete the testing. So for now I see the same indicators as my basic tool would show me. And I would like to check now the live data. I had some fuel mixture problems. The system was seeing too much fuel in the fuel mixture. Let's try to turn on the engine and see the short-term and long-term fuel trim indicators. So now you can hear the engine working. The computer starts seeing too much fuel in the fuel mixture. So I have this problem here, and the other tool, the basic tool, was showing the same. I see that pressure is showing here, the revolutions per minute is showing here. Throttle position, let's try to press the gas pedal and see if it changes. Yeah, it changes when I press the gas pedal. Oxygen sensor. So I have some extra indicators here which I will have to investigate. For example, this percentage indicator, I didn't have it in the basic tool. Let's see if this changes. Let's turn off the engine and see if it shows the atmospheric pressure. Okay, it's not showing because I actually turned the key to the off position. Now I turned the key into on position again. Live data. No errors. Engine coolant temperature is still showing. And yes, now the pressure is showing the atmospheric pressure. When the engine is off, this is what the pressure should be. By the way, this device only requires internet connection when you set it up and download updates. Now you can see there's no Wi-Fi connection. And I can still connect to the car's computer and perform my checks. You can see you can use this device without the internet connection.